The Associated Press put out a report. More like they took a public relations statement from the NFL, wrapped it in journalistic wrapping paper, and then delivered it to everybody. The NFL, according to this report by the Associated Press, has found no other current personnel that have sent emails with racist, homophobic, or misogynistic language like those written by John Gruden that led to his resignation as Las Vegas Raiders coach. A person familiar with the documents told Associated Press. You have to be the most dumb and naive person on planet Earth or the biggest NFL shill to look at this report and say, well, sounds airtight to me. I have no more follow-up questions. Time to move on.
You remember that movie Animal House, the old movie Animal House? At the end, that guy's like, please stay calm. All is well. And like chaos is going on behind him. This is what it is, man. Look, a lot of people are killing Mark Davis for not coming out and saying anything, and for what he did say, which was ask the NFL, they have all the answers.
Yeah.
I take that as less of a kind of like, I mean, the word coward has been thrown around a lot. And I think that's pretty irresponsible for people to say that.
Yeah.
But given his track record, but I think he's more so saying, ask the NFL, they have all the answers, meaning they have all the information.
Mm-hmm.
So don't ask me what I think about this. You know how I feel about it. I fucking fire the guy.
Yeah.
It's ask the NFL, they have everything. So here's the issue though. Now that they've come out and said that there is nothing in these emails, they really don't have the blackmail leverage like we talked about last show.
Mm-hmm.
They really don't have that leverage to be able to have something leak out later and say, oh, look what so-and-so said fucking 20 years ago.
Well, that's what they said.
Because then they look bad.
They've put themselves, they opened up a can of worms, right? They're like, all right, because like people kind of forgot about these almost 700,000 emails from the Washington football team. Like, I'm sure there were still like good journalists kind of working on it, and I'm sure like Washington football team fans hadn't forgotten. A couple of them probably didn't forget, but it was not a story anymore. It was buried and gone. And then poof, someone purposefully leaked the John Gruden emails, and now everyone's like, oh, where are the other 649,998 emails? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's on there? And so, like, the NFL shot themselves in the foot by opening Pandora's box. And now people are demanding that they know what else is in there. Because to me, as a big of a story as John Gruden's emails are, the bigger story, the far bigger story, is that the NFL is weaponizing a series of emails from a Washington football team investigation that they're using and weaponizing for completely different reasons. They're like, all right, we have access to this entire cache of personal information that we can use against coaches, players, executives, GMs. Let's use it when we want to. That's a way bigger story than John Gruden writing shitty things about people 10 years ago in emails.
It's a bigger story because as much as we like to say that, oh, well, John Gruden had these thoughts and he was in charge of so many people, but there's no proof that he had any action behind that. This is proof of action that a person or an entity in authority is using to control and to single out specific people and groups of people.
Yep.
So, like you said before, the actions are way worse than the words. Not to say that his words weren't bad, but the action of like being actually caught doing something is a lot worse. And the only way we can really, for sure, and kind of have like that smoking gun is if something gets leaked out in the future, and we can say, hey, I thought there was nothing else. I thought
The way we'll know for sure is if John Gruden sues the league. And he has grounds to, right? He can say, like, all right, this cost me $65 million of my $100 million deal, right? I got fired because this got released. I want to see what else is in there. And he doesn't have to win that case. He doesn't have to win. He just has to get to the discovery phase. That's all he's got to do. Yeah. That's all he has to do. And he can say, look, the NFL said there's nothing else there. They said there's no other problems, blah, 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 blah. Okay. You know there's an attorney out there that would love to take this case. John Gruden needs to sue the league. Not because he was – again, the John Gruden story's done. He got the hammer. He got the axe. He got 1,000 kicks in the dick. Like, he got as big of a punishment. He got his punishment. More so than – I can't think of anyone who got a worse punishment from saying some shitty things in an email than John Gruden, right? Like, he got his comeuppance, right? Yeah. His work is done. Now, the much bigger story is the NFL essentially blackmailing the league with, we have all this evidence on you. We've got when you were talking in private, we can make it public moving forward. I hope John Gruden sues the league. Not because John Gruden was in the right and people say he's in the wrong. It's just the NFL needs to be exposed for the shit that they're pulling.
And the thing is more likely than not, there's going to be some like injunction made where everything's got to be sealed and kept private. So the only people that are going to know what was in those emails are the people that are handling the case, which is fine, because if there is stuff that's exposed, people can say that there was more to these emails. So then once people know that there was more to these emails, then there's going to be more pressure on the NFL to release the findings of the emails. Yeah. The issue that I'm seeing is how long is this going to be a story? Like how many people outside of people who are NFL fans really give a shit about who John Gruden is and what he did? It's like the next news story is going to come up and then that's it.
There's enough animosity. Well, it's a weird thing because the NFL is so powerful over such big segments of the media, right?
Yep.
Fox, CBS, ESPN, like they don't want to piss off the NFL. Like they can decide what games they get. Some, you know what I mean? Like they're all in bed together. But there's a lot of kind of independent media and fans that despise Roger Goodell and want this out. So it's going to be, like I said last show, this is something that if like the New York Times doesn't care about the NFL, whether they do right or wrong. So like a big news source can like actually attack this thing. But I truly think that the way this is going to come out is legally, not through, some reporter digging through the trash cans at the NFL headquarters and finding, shredded printed emails. It's going to be legally. It's going to be through, hopefully, I hope it happens, John Gruden sues the NFL and we find out what happened. We'll see. And also another side point, anytime a report like this comes out on a Friday night, it's someone not wanting it to get out. Like it's PR 101. If it's Friday night, because that means everyone's done with work. All the media agents are done with work and the weekend's here and they're moving on. If you want to bury a story, release it on a Friday night. And that's what the NFL did through the Associated Press. Like, I would put this out on a Friday night so no one knows about it.